Hey guys, this is Russ Laggan, the real estate dude, and we're talking with Larry Zanas. Larry Zanas is Naples. He's a good buddy of mine and also a guy that just does a great job doing real estate, sells a crap ton of houses. And one of the things he's not doing in his real estate business all the time that he should be doing, and now as his coach, I'm kind of pushing him on, is doing a real estate market update, and he's starting to see the value in that. So as we're going through this, he and I are going to kind of walk through the conversation on how to put together a good market update for the Naples market, and kind of switching from him sending just like a market update to his people. It's like some generic thing from the board because NABOR, the local board in Naples, sends out a market update, but they don't tell you what the info means. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of walk through this. I'm going to tell him the key components that are important out of what he sent me. So he sent me over a picture of what the market stats are in Naples, and I'm going to show him how to pull out the important stuff that buyers and sellers care about and other agents care about, and then how to position the information. And then we're going to kind of build out a really short market update, quick, so he can see how would I do a market update? How would I present this information? Okay, sound good? Larry, you on board?
Yeah, I'm on board. I also emailed you, which might be easier to use, is the latest one. It might be in your email.
Okay, so what is which email did you send that to?
Your Russ Laggan, the one that I have for you.
Okay, cool.
I sent a couple minutes ago.
All right, it has not come through yet, so I'll keep my eyeballs open for it as we go. But in the meantime, let's just use.
You know what? Hold on. It's never mind. It's coming through now.
Is that off the screen?
Yeah, my error.
Okay, got it. So I'm using the info off the screenshot picture that you sent to me for right now. So let's go through like the basic cores of a good real estate market update are pretty straightforward, Larry. So we need to make sure we're painting a picture so that it makes sense for average people. Most people don't know what we know at the level that we know it, so we kind of got to tell them a picture, paint them a picture. So the core parts and pieces that are important in a real estate market update that are interesting, that make sense, and tell a story are going to be starting off with like total listings. What are the total listings from last year? So this would be 2018 and 2019. Okay, a lot of people would say, well, Russ, that's great, but I need to know what's going on now. Yeah, that's great, but you need something to compare it to. So is this good or bad? So when I look at this info here on the picture you sent over to me, Larry, let's see, total listings, total active listings. Last year, 2018 was 7,239. So 7,239 total active listings. And this year, 2019, is 6,435. Okay, so no, most people say, well, gee, Russ, active listings are down. Yeah, active listings are down. Actually, on this, it even shows you the percentage, which is kind of cool. So active listings, total active listings, the total amount of active listings are down 11.1%. So listings are down year over year. So here's the thing that most people miss. What does that mean? So I'm kind of breaking this out. I wouldn't do it this long in a video, but what does that mean so you guys understand what that means? If supply goes down and demand stays the same, what happens? Prices go up.
Prices go up.
If supply goes down and demand goes up, what happens to prices?
Demand goes up, so price can go up.
Goes up even faster, right? If supply goes down and demand goes down, what happens?
Net zero.
Stays pretty flat, yeah. If supply goes up and demand goes down, prices are going
to drop
a little bit, right? So once you understand like basic supply and demand, if there's low supply and consistent demand, prices are typically going to go up with everything, including shoes, bubble gum, gasoline. Everything works like that. It works the same way with houses. So in this scenario, 2018 versus 19, there's almost 1,000 less homes available in your market. Okay, so that's like one part of the story. So the other part of the story we want to talk about is total closings, right? So for us to be able to say, is this good or bad? Is this going the right direction or the wrong direction? We need to look at what closings did last year. What were the closings last year? So let me look at this info. And guys, bear with me. I'm looking at this info for the first time and putting this together. I've done this hundreds of times in other markets, so it's fairly easy to do. But I need to look at the numbers to see total closed sales. April of 2018 was 1,027. Okay. And then let's see, in April of 2019, 1158. Okay. Whoa. Okay. So this is starting already to paint a picture. Just having two pieces of information start to show me and tell me what's going on in the market. So without even knowing the market in Naples, I could tell you just based on the statistics, probably what's most likely going on. So Larry, you're on the ground there, so you tell me. We've got lower supply and a higher amount of closings, which means overall supply of homes went down year over year, which means buyers are probably having a little harder time finding a house, and sellers are probably getting higher dollars for their houses. Would that be pretty accurate?
Yeah, it depends on here whether it's the median price point in the 300s or in your $1 million.
Depends on price point, right? So the upper levels of the market are a little bit isolated from this. So this is overall general market. In your overall general market, you've got less supply and higher demand. Which means house prices are probably climbing there in the majority of your markets. Maybe not as much in the high end of the market. We're seeing a lot of high ends of the market stall right now here mid-2019. A lot of the higher ends of the market are stalling, like the 500 plus range is kind of flattened out. Trickle down into the lower end. The problem is a lot of people are saying, well, the market's going to stall, Russ. The market's going to stop. The market's going to collapse. The market's going to blow up. I'm going to tell you from last year to this year, people have been saying that for 2 years now. Supply is down and demand is up. So that means in the majority of the market, that's pushing prices up. Okay, so what does that mean as far as total supply of homes? Kind of interesting. You don't actually have in this thing supply of homes. Total supply of homes isn't in there. So one of the things people will say is, what is the total supply? Supply of homes is basically if no other homes come on the market, how many months will it take to get rid of all of the inventory? So here's the cool part. Larry, do you have a calculator close by?
Yep.
You got a calculator close by. Take 7239 divided by 1027.
By 1027.
7239 divided by 1027.
Okay, 7.0.
7.0. So what that means is a 7.0 month supply of homes. So actually, in your market last year, it's slightly a buyer's market.
Yes, absolutely.
More to understand about doing a good market analysis and do good market info is understanding what's a balanced market. A balanced market, a good balanced market is like 5.5 to 6 month supply of homes. Is a good balanced market. When it starts creeping above 6, it's going more towards a buyer's market, which means in our market, it's actually buyers have a little bit of an advantage and properties are staying on the market a little bit longer. So I can compare this to Tampa. Tampa market's down in the high 2s this time of year, which means it's a hardcore seller's market, which means the seller puts the property on the market. If it's priced reasonably, aside from the higher ends of the market, which are slowing down too, if it's priced reasonably, it goes off the market almost immediately. So you're looking at on market in less than 30 to 40 days on market, which is a really fast selling market. Okay, so I can
here it's more like 100 to 110.
Your market is 94 last year days on market and 98 this year. So your days on market is almost 3 times what Tampa is, which means it's taking a little more time to run through the inventory, which makes sense because you're 7 months of homes.
Okay.
In a normal market, houses should be on the market on average days on market should be in the 65 to 90 range. 60 to 70 to 80, 90 range is not unusual. So when you say 7 month supply of homes and you said, hey, Russ, how many days on market should it be? I say, somewhere in the 60 to 90 range would be normal. So it's a smudge higher than that. But 7 month supply of homes means normal houses typically sell in 3 months or so, plus or minus 2 to 3 months. If they're priced really well or under market, they'll sell in a month or 2. If they're priced properly, they're going to be on the market 3 months. That's not unusual in a normal market. The problem we have is there's a lot of people got in the real estate business in the last 5, 6, 7 years. They've never seen a normal market. So when a house sits on the market for 2 or 3 weeks, and I heard this last week, like, Russ, this house has been on the market for 2 weeks. I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm like, that's, oh my God, the sky is falling, right? I'm like, a normal market would be 3 months. Some are going to go a little quicker, some are going to go a little longer. That's not a big factor, right? So 7 month supply of homes, 90 days or so, not a shocker to me at all. That's a good balanced market, right? So let's do the math on 2019. Is it getting better or worse? 6,435? 6,435?
6435.
Yep, divided by 1158.
Yeah. So 55, 56.
50, well, start over because it should be 5 something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Say 5 points. 6,435 divided by 1,158.
Oh, 5.5, I'm sorry.
I would say it should be 5 something, mid fives. Okay, so what has happened in your market? It went from a buyer's market at 7 months supply of homes in the last year down to 5.5 months supply of homes, which is actually starting to creep towards a seller's market.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool, right? Mm-hmm. So in the Tampa market, what happened in the last year, which is kind of funny because people are like, well, Russ, you got to look at the inventory. Inventory went up like 1,100 homes in the last year. And I'm like, yeah, but did you look at the sales? The sales went up too. Because I've been saying for the last 3 years in Tampa, if you get more inventory in Tampa, because inventory's been so low for so long, if you get more inventory, you'll have a bunch of buyers pop out of the woodwork and snap those up immediately. So the supply of homes has stayed the same, but the sales have gone up. There's more listings and way more sales, but the supply number is still the same. So that's fantastic. What that means is real estate agents made money. There's 1,100 plus more people had closings in 1 month, which means 1,100 more realtors got paid in 1 month. That's good, right? So I like that. So I want a little bit higher supply in Tampa. And when we get that little bit higher supply, it means we can sell more homes. So same thing's happening in Naples. You get less supply, but you've got more buyers, which drop that supply of homes. So what'll happen over the next year or two potentially is if this continues to drop down a little bit, this continues to drop down a little bit, this will end up dropping down because there's no homes to buy.
And the prices, the sellers are going to probably raise the prices because it's a seller's market.
Yeah, so what'll happen too is when you see this, what ends up happening is some sellers will go, hey, wait a minute, the market's starting to move a little bit. My neighbor's home sold pretty quick. Maybe I should put my house on the market. So I would love to see the inventory go back up. And then the sales will probably go back up again. So a lot of people are saying, bubble, 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 bubble. You can't have a bubble at 5.5. If it went from 7 to 8, and the year before it was 6, and then it went to 7, then it went to 8, then it went to 9, I'd say you're gonna have a slowdown. If it goes from 7 to 12,
a correction.
Yeah, run, right? Don't run. Don't wait to sell. Sell it now because you're gonna have a price drop. But if it's bouncing around like this isn't conducive to a price dropping. This is conducive to prices staying stable or actually going up a little bit.
Yeah, because that's a balanced market in the 5 to 6 range.
Yeah, so when we talk about supply of homes is simply a metric between how many listings do you have and how many sales are you averaging per month, right? So it's a pretty great way to look at
brilliant stuff.
Okay, so here's the one other thing that's kind of interesting too is the what is the median? Okay, there's 2 different things here that come into play. Median price of your home in your market. This is an indicator of what's going on in the market in a lot of ways. Some people say, well, Russ, I go by average sales price. Well, here's the crappy part about average sales price. If you only have 1,100 sales and you get 2 or 3 that are you get a $20 million sale, you blow the number, you blow the average, right? But if you're doing median means half of the properties that sold are above this number, half are below this number. So if you get a $1 billion sale here, it doesn't move. It's just one more house sale. Just half the house above half the. So it's much more stable when a market's moving around. It's much more stable. It gives you a better indicator of what actually is going on in the general market. So averages can jump up and down wildly by 1 or 2 sales if they're big ones. And median doesn't jump around that much. It's much more stable. So let's look at the median. Let's see here. Median close price. So it's good they use median close price. Median close price last year was $445,000. And based on this info, what should happen with the price based on just the market info? Now, keep in mind, guys, I haven't looked at this info yet. Well, what did I tell you it would probably do?
It's going to start becoming a seller's market, so the price is going to go up.
Based on these numbers, the numbers should go up. So let's look at this, and this tells me the rest of the story. See, if you tell the story like this and this makes this, then this and this should mean this number should be higher. So let's figure out what that number is. Okay, here we go, 469.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so when I see this and I see this, I go, thank God the world is a good place. Everything makes sense, right? If this number was lower, I would say, oh shit, what the hell just happened, right? Something's not right in this universe, right? But when I see 445, 469, does not surprise me at all. Is this strong appreciation? Not huge, but it's solid appreciation. So 5.4%. 5.4% is pretty good, right? That's actually pretty average for the state of Florida.
That's pretty average, yeah. 6.
Pretty average for the state of Florida. So when you start looking at these numbers, you get these 4 major components right here. These 4 major components tell you a really good story. If you give me these 3, I can tell you what this is doing most likely.
Yeah.
So when we're doing a market update, a lot of people say, well, here's the numbers. We're at a 7-month supply of homes. Great.
Nobody knows what that means.
Nobody knows what that means. So what a 7-month supply of homes means is it's pretty close to a balanced market. Again, some of you guys may or may not know, 6-month supply is considered a good balanced market where it's a pretty equal amount of sellers and buyers. You know, your days on market is typically going to be in the 60 to 90 days on market range, and house prices are pretty stable.
Right.
This still said 7. If this was 7, I'd expect this to be
lower.
45,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
But since it's down, it's going to boost up a little bit. If this was 8.5, I'd expect this number to be down a little bit.
Yep, makes sense.
It's not always a direct correlation, but most of the time, this is a great example because this kind of tells a story and it kind of proves the way it typically works. There are anomalies. If these numbers were off or these numbers were off, I'd start going, okay, what else is going on? And that's when you get somebody with local knowledge like you, and you could say to me, hey, man, Russ, this is what's been going on recently, boom, 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 boom. Or, by the way, we had a hurricane last week. So when you look at this in like Houston, when Houston got hit by that big hurricane a couple years ago, I was managing the manager that ran our office in Houston, and you could take this information, throw it in the garbage.
Because it's an anomaly. It's an anomaly.
Yeah, do the universal sign for hurricane or whatever that little hurricane happened here. So I would look at this number and go, whoa, wait a second, what the heck's going on? Right? Because you could see inventory drop to nothing, sales go to nothing, supply of homes go through the roof, and sales prices go through the roof because nobody can find a house. So like, there's 4 houses available and 1,100 people trying to buy. What happens to sales prices? You know, so you see massive spikes because there's nothing available and everything else gets destroyed. Or you see a bunch of house sales because the houses are wrecked, so they're buying at pennies on the dollar as wholesaling and then doing fix and flippers on them. So you can see this median sale price drop way down because you got a bunch of houses that are being bought at a $100,000 discount. They put 50 grand into them, then put them back on the market, but you're not going to see that bump for the next year. So this isn't always foolproof because we do have things like hurricanes. You got things like flood. Louisiana just got flooded. So there are individual market pockets that get hit like that, but this tells a perfect story. Okay, so with this information, what I would typically do is say, okay, so we're going to start off with our basic recipe, right? So when I start video, here's how I start my video. You guys will see me do this, right? You see me start, I got my pen in my hand, right? Ready to rock and roll. So I can put this information up on the wall, Larry. Let me see here, stepping off camera here for a second. I can put this information on the wall like this, and then I have it written there so I can refer to it, and then I'll use a different color marker so I can make it stand out when I do it. So here's how I would typically do it if I had the info populated. Okay? And you're gonna put the name of the town up above here. So I'm gonna start off like this, start my camera, get ready, take a deep breath, pants a little bit, right? And then right before I'm ready to start, I do this. Put my hand up, I count to 3, smile. When I put my hand back down, I count to 3, smile, and that's when I start, okay? And I'll show you why I do that in a second. So here's how it goes. This will be how I start my video. I've already got the video running, so here's how I go. Hi, I'm Russ Laggan, the real estate dude, and I'm going to talk to you about the Naples real estate market update. The cool part is Naples market's actually heading in the right direction, contrary to popular belief where the sky is falling, everything's coming apart, the sky is falling, chicken little crap everywhere. When you look at the actual map and the numbers, you'll start seeing that the Naples market's actually starting to head in the right direction. It actually has all the indicators of prices continuing to go up, and I can show you the proof in the facts, okay? So forget what it feels like. Let me show you what the facts look like in this market right now. Okay, so that's how I start out, right? So here's what I do. Stop the tape, right? So I get to the, so I'll blah, 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 info. I'm Russ Laggan, real estate dude. I'll see you on the next video. And I pause like that, count to 3, or I go, and I count to 3 in my head. 1, 2, 3. And the reason I do that is then when I get the video, the raw video, particularly if I'm doing it on my cell phone, I can set my cell phone up, clip it to my laptop, and I can actually record the video with my cell phone. And when I get to the end of the cell phone, I know clipping the end of a video, like trimming the video this way and this way, is super easy, right? I'm kind of a tech tard, so I'm a little bit slow in the tech world. But clipping a video on this end and this end, like on a cell phone, super easy. You just slide the end in, right? So where do you slide the end in? Watch my hand. See it go down. 1, 2, 3, and you'll see my hands go like this. Hi, I'm Russ Laggan, real estate. And every time I see my hands pop apart, I just back it up a little bit, and it's perfect like this.
Oh my gosh.
It's a perfect start point. So I start my videos like 1, 2, 3. Hi, I'm Russ Laggan, real estate dude. And crap, I screwed it up.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Hi, I'm Russ Laggan, the real estate. Now I know, okay, I screwed it up once. So when I'm clipping the end of the video, I just go, I go to where my hand goes up. When my hand goes back down, 1, 2, and I clip it right to there. And then the next thing is like, hi, I'm Russ Laggan, the real estate dude. And it always starts at the perfect time. And then on the back end, like I get the back end, and it's like, as soon as I see my hand going in, done.
You already know that's your cue.
Boom, boom. Those are my cues to start. That's why you always see me start almost every video. You see me start like this, and as soon as my hands pop apart, my face starts working. My face starts going. It's like I didn't even realize I did it.
Oh my gosh.
So I watched it like 600 times, and I'm like, that's how I do my video, right? But it gives you the ability to edit the video down, and if you boof it up, which I do occasionally, you should see some of the outtakes. I mean, you want to see a lot of cussing?
You just start over.
I get like 2 minutes into it, and I'm like, son of a, you gotta beat them out, right? And it's like I just stop, and I'm like, all right.
Yep.
I just restart. Then I just put one video.
Yep.
A lot of people, they walk over and they stop the camera. They start.
That makes sense.
The
Makes sense.
Super easy. You don't have to do a clean take that way. Just clip the back, clip the front. If you're loading it into YouTube, it's super easy to trim video on YouTube. Just Google it. It's like YouTube trim video. It's like you take this end, you slide it in this way, and boom, you're done. And if you give yourself those natural start points and stop points, it makes that 1,000 times easier. I did so many where it's like you hit the button and you run in front of you. And you see those people doing videos all the time. It makes it a giant pain in the butt. Okay? So here's how I present the info. So I'm going to start off. Hi, I'm Russ Laggan, the real estate dude, talking about Naples real estate market update because I got my buddy Larry who wants to talk about Naples real estate market update. Here's the cool part. I got 4 cool pieces of information for you, and this tells a perfect story. So let's take a look at the total amount of listings in the market between 2018 and 2019. The cool part is they're down 11.1%, 7,200 versus 6,400, which means there's less supply of homes. There's less homes to pick from. Now, that's only part of the story, Larry, because here's the rest of the story. You take how many closings are going on. Last year, you had a little over 1,000. This year, you've got 1,158, almost 1,150, right? There's 150 more sales or so in one month, which basically means the supply of homes is actually lower this month. So where a lot of people are talking the sky is falling, the upper end of the market has slowed down a little bit, but the overall market in Naples, actually supply is going down. And when supply goes down, what does that mean to prices? That means prices start going up, right? So if you're starting to see in the lower ends of the market, this is going to become more prevalent. We're going to start seeing a little bit more appreciation. Now, I can tell you numbers and facts all I want, but let me make sure I back that up with more facts because you don't want to have to believe me. Look at the facts, look at the numbers. If this is true, then the house prices, median house price should go up, right? So here's the proof in the pudding. 445,000 was the median sales price last year. 469 is the median sales price this year. So the great part is based on supply, demand, total supply of homes, month supply of homes, and sales price, again, supply, demand, total month supply of homes, prices went up. So the good news is the world is as it should be. The world is still round. It's not gotten flat yet. This makes sense. The numbers should be up a little bit. So there's your real estate market update for Naples for 2019, July of 2019. And the good news is, if the market keeps going like this, prices should still keep going up a little bit. I'm Russ Laggan, the real estate dude. I will catch you on the next video.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, that's it, right? There's the whole recipe with all the info in there. Now, I can take my marker and I can circle these as I'm going. I can underline them if I want to make it a little more interactive, or I can just point to it. Either way works, right? If you pre-populate the information, when you look back, it makes it really easy to just spit the information out, right? I'm looking at it, pointing at it. I don't have to memorize it, okay? So now here's a dirty little trick, ready? W239, okay? So I've got smaller markers here. W239, actually, I've got a little guy. Well, I'll take a little guy, and what I'll do is do this. Okay, so here's a different way I can do it that makes it a little bit more interactive too. And a lot of people will see me do this, and they'll go, "How the hell do you memorize all that? How do you memorize all those numbers, Russ?" So I'll have these numbers all wiped off of here, and I'll just go, okay, so total listings for 2018. You're not going to believe this, right? Total listings for 2018 goes like this: 7,239 listings for 2018.
Because the numbers are right there.
That doesn't mean anything until you see what this year does. This year we're at 6,439 listings for this current total inventory listing, 732 to 64. So I've got the little numbers written here, and they're so tiny you can't see them. But when I turn around, I can see it fine because I'm this far away. So people go, "Dude, how do you memorize all those numbers? You just boom, boom, boom." Dude, I don't memorize crap. I'll memorize.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
I have it written really tiny. Okay, so when I do the flip chart, you'll see
I know that.
on paper. I do the flip chart on paper, and I have it written tiny in pencil, and I put it right in the middle. You can't see it, and then I write big letters in marker. Go. So
I love it.
all these crazy ways you can
Good stuff.
so you can tell a story that makes sense. Okay?
Wow.
Real estate market update is something that everybody wants to see. Here's the perspective I use for that, Larry. And this is something I've just added recently to my repertoire, and because it started working for me, because now I'm starting to connect with people and building my sphere and all that stuff. And in the process of building my sphere and building my team, I'm trying to make sure that we give people the verbiage that makes sense. So here's verbiage that makes sense to a lot of people that are real business people. So Larry, you deal with a little more high-end market people. So here's something that makes sense. Say, hey, I do a real estate market update. By the way, Larry, do you have any stocks? Like stocks in the stock market?
Oh, some.
You got a couple here and a couple there. So every once in a while, you check the stock market and see what's going on, or your financial advisor will tell you what's going on in the market, right?
Yes.
This is exactly the same thing. So if you had a stock and you had $469,000 in a stock, would you check that stock on occasion to see how it was doing? So if you saw that stock go from 449 to 460, or 445 to 469, you'd be pretty happy, right?
Yes.
So part
Absolutely.
of it, I, as a real estate expert, do a real estate market update consistently every month, is because every once in a while, if you have a $469 stock, you probably want to check on it once in a while, right? You probably should be checking on it once in a while, right?
So for people that have the homes.
If I knew Coca-Cola was going to tank, would I sell my Coca-Cola stock? Yeah, so if you see this number going way up fast, it might be a good time, if you have the opportunity or ability, it might be a good time to think about selling that stock before it tanks, right? So we do a real estate market update consistently, and over time, you're going to see these numbers go up and down. And when they're really moving strong, you're going to hear me saying, this number went up really fast. And if this number is going up really fast, this number, if the supply goes way up, demand goes way down, this number goes way up, this number is going to start going down. So if you're thinking about selling in the next year or two, I would be doing it now versus waiting a year or two. If this number is going down, this number is going up, this number is going down, this number is going up. If you're thinking about buying a house, I would be thinking seriously buy a house now, because that same exact house last year that was $449 cost you $460 or $445, cost you $469. So it's $45, $65. So it cost you what, $24,000 more dollars? Okay, so let me ask you, Larry. Would you be cool with paying $24,000 more for the exact same thing?
Explain how the numbers work.
I don't think so. So this is a conversation we're having with buyers. Let me show you what the market's done And if you're thinking about buying, do you want to pay 24 more grand for the exact same house, exact same pool, exact same kitchen, exact same countertops, exact same floor, exact same toilets, cost you 24 more grand? Are you cool with that? Hey, by the way, if you're going to buy a car today or buy a car next year, the same exact car is going to cost you $4,000 more. You good with that? No. And by the way, if I've got a pair of shoes that are on my feet right now, here, look, shoe. This shoe today is $120. It's handmade. You can actually see the handcraftedness of it, right? Handmade, $120. Tomorrow, it's going to be $130. Would you rather buy it today or tomorrow? I mean, even on a shoe, it's only $10 more. If I know it's going up $10 tomorrow, I wouldn't wait till tomorrow. I'd like drop everything, go buy the darn shoe today. I'm going to stand for it. Okay? So even as small of a thing as a shoe, a house is a bigger deal. When we start showing buyers, here's what happened in the market last year. Are you sure you want to wait around? It starts making sense. So this real estate market update starts telling a story. And if you know this info, when you're talking to somebody, well, I'm thinking about buying, let me show you what's happened in the last year in the market and why now is a better time to buy than later. The market's going the other way. Well, I'm thinking about selling my house. Okay, market's going down. If you're thinking, if this is flip-flop, market was $469 last year, it's $445 this year, which means you just lost $24,000 on your house. Are you sure you want to wait another year? Based on these numbers backwards, you'd lose another $24,000 in the next year. How many more years would you like to lose 24 grand? And that's how you get people to get off and sell their house when the market's going down, right? So whether the market's going up or the market's going down, there's always somebody that should be doing something, right? So you've also got move-up buyers and move-up sellers. This is something you could use in these market updates also. So if you're thinking about moving up into a bigger house, now's a good time to sell because you're going to sell at $469. These properties went up 5.5% in the next year. So if you're going to buy a $700,000 house, let's say a $400,000 house went up, let's just say 5%. 5% of 400,000 is 20 grand, right? That's $20,000, 20K. If you're going to buy a $700,000 house, 7 times 5 is what? 35. This guy went up $35,000. So yeah, you're selling yours, but you've got $15,000 more by moving up now versus waiting a year. So right now your $400,000 house went up 20 grand. Your $700,000 house went up 35 grand. So if you're thinking about moving up to a bigger house and improving your status and your home, now's the time to do it. Because you just went $15,000 in the hole by waiting a year. So you want to lose another 15 grand over the next year? It's over $1,000 a month you're losing by not moving now. So when people are saying, hey, I'm thinking about, well, let me show you what thinking about has cost you over the last year.
Yeah.
Let's not even talk about what interest rates have done.
Yeah, I do the whole interest rate thing also.
So when you add house appreciation with interest rate and then put the two of them together, it becomes a massive number.
It's really different.
So is now a good time to buy a house? Yes. Is now a good time to move up? Yes. Is now a good time to sell a house? Well, yeah, sure. If you're going to move sideways or up, absolutely. You have to sell a house for another reason. You got to sell. So hopefully you go into a different market that this isn't happening to and you end up paying more. So this is why real estate market updates really matter. People should know what's going on in their house. They should know what's going on in the market. The other great part about this is when I talk this stuff, my credibility doesn't even come into question. This is just market facts.
Yeah.
They don't have to believe
well, you're translating the numbers.
All I'm doing is showing you what the market did. Do I actually get credibility by knowing this info and talking this info?
Absolutely.
Do I look like an expert? Do I feel like an expert? Absolutely. So if you're thinking about recruiting real estate agents, as a recruiter over the years, I've told real estate agents this info. I've sent real estate agents this info. I have 543 people in Tampa that got this every month from me. And a lot of those agents over time would say, hey, Russ, you're the guy who's been giving me all this great info. Nobody else I know is talking like this. Thanks for giving that to me. I've gotten buyers and sellers and clients and closings because I send this to my buyer. And my buyer's like, well, shoot, if I lost 24 grand, I need to buy something now. I got sellers like, hey, I'm moving up. I need to do it now. And they're getting sales and closings from it. And I become their resource. I become their real estate expert. And I've got something they want. That's pretty cool stuff, right? So in the grand scheme of things, real estate market update can be used for buyers and sellers, working with clients. It can also be used for recruiting because real estate agents are pulling this info. And if they are, they're not making sense of it like that for most people.
No, they're not translating it.
We're at a 5.5 month supply of homes. Great. What does that mean? If you want an
Say it
example,
again.
I just saw another post today from another mortgage person that I love, and I've told him this 10 times. He sends out today, interest rates on a 15-year fixed are at 3%. What the hell does that
There's no
mean? Tell me
basis
what
of
it means.
comparison, or what does that mean for savings? And
Yeah, if the rest of it is like, and what that means is if you have a $300,000 house and you're at a 3.5 and you could drop it to a 3, that saves you
no, that's the
$63,000
difference.
on
Yep.
the life of the loan. $63,000. So is it worth $63,000 to give me a call? I'll tell you what, that would make my phone ring. Because that, to me, I'm going, wait a minute, I can save $63,000 on this loan by saving 0.5% on $300,000. That's huge. Now I want to call the guy and talk to him versus going, you could save 0.5%.
Yep. Doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything.
$3,000 over the life of the loan makes sense to me, right? So you got to do the math and tell them what it means.
Sure.
So here's the stat. Here's what it means. That's the recipe. And here's the core 4 things you need to have. Total listings, total closings, do the supply numbers. Most markets do the supply numbers for you, but it's just the math. Take the total listings by how many closings you have. That's what the supply is. And then the median house price, what is it doing? Is it going up or going down? And once you've got that info, you've got all the makings of a really great real estate market update that's strong and powerful, and it makes sense to people.